Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananji commences tonight's satsang with a Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called The Spirit of Love. The spirit of love is like a sun shining on all below. The spirit of love sleeps in every heart. The value of life lies in flowing with the song of humility. When feeling is pure and all masks gone, you know and realize life cannot be without the spirit of love. The spirit of love is like the sun shining on all below. The spirit of love sleeps in every heart. Let the river flow to the sea and enter deep within, feeling like a wave of the endless sea. The spirit of love is like the sun shining on all below. The spirit of love sleeps in every heart. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananji in Miami, Florida. Today is June the 22nd, 2018, Friday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on Tulsi Ramayana. This is series 2016, class number 110. And now, Pujyatman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananji.
Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vama Bhagam Panavu Maha Sayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus. Is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He's carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Presently, in Balakanda, moving towards verse number 278, and the topic at this time is Lakshmana encounters Sage Parshuram, Lord Parshuram, he's an avatara, and there's a dialogue between the two. Remember, the Rama has broken the Shiva's bow, Bhavachap. And as a result, a great commotion has gone on in the royal arena where all the people were gathered. They're all, some are in favor and glorifying Rama. Many are just saying that a kid did it. Let us throw him out. While all this was going on, Lord Parashurama comes in with his axe with tremendous expression of agitation, wrathful vision. And I have explained to you, this is the storyline. Storyline is highly allegorical. The historical knowledge of what happened, that is not going to help you in any way. It will entertain your mind. But subtle point that is being brought out, that Rama broke the Shiva's bow. That implies Ramatva in you, Rama potential in the soul. When it comes to higher level of spiritual movement, it comes to a stage of developing paravairagya, supreme dispassion. In other words, now the soul breaks the pull of the earth, just like a person who has to fly into outer space. He must plan to overstep the gravitational pull. There is always a gravitational pull behind all souls. And that's pravritti pull, the pull of samsara, world process. World is grabbing you. And for most people, until they have gone to satsanga and have received divine grace, for most people, this is a kind of impossibility. Now, the role of Parashuram. Parashuram's role is in that stage when the soul is working with karmic process, how to be free of rajas and tamas and promote sattva. That's the role of Parashuram. In that stage, lot of effort is needed. Is effort predominating stage. And when you destroy a negative vritti or negative quality, it is not rooted out. but it is left for Rama to do it. Parshuram is one step, Rama is a higher step. But just like in university, when you go from one grade to higher grade, you are put into examination. Oral examination, practical examination. Lakshmana and Parshuram encounter and their talks, they bring out the oral examination. Until Parshuram gives Narayanastra to Rama, that becomes a practical examination. An oral examination implies it brings out a profound understanding of difference between the role of spiritual movement in the realm of rajas tamas, in the realm of pravritti, when we have not broken the pull, the gravitational pull of the world process. In that realm, you have to mature yourself, perfect yourself. And Parashurama gives that type of ideal, that all moha, deluded love, has to be broken. And in giving that, the storyline presents it in a very crude way. His father tells him, is angry with the mother and tells his sons, punish the mother. And punish, not ordinary, chop the head. And Parashurama just chops the head. Others won't do it. And then the father becomes very pleased and he says, ask any boon. And Parashurama says, let my mother come back. And let she not know that I did that. It's a very subtle way to describe how negative qualities in you are handled and put more in a precise way. In the early stage of spiritual movement, you are given certain instructions, and those instructions have to be followed with effort and with precision. And what is the instruction? The scriptures say, Matri Devo Bhava. Let mother be your God. When you mature that level, that comes to next instruction. Pitri Devo Bhava. Moving from Matri to Pitri is as if you are cutting down the mother level. In the beginning, it seems like as if contradictory. One step higher has as if cut down the lesser level. But from advanced point of view, as this process moves on, ultimately, mother level, father level, they are reconciled in this story. But all this struggle goes on in the early stage of sadhana until comes Rama stage. You have come to a stage of understanding and a profound vairagya. Understanding the world is illusion. You cannot find anywhere in the world of time, space, a perfect resolution to your problem. So therefore, these two stages After Paravairagya, the movement becomes Rama's movement, where there's not too much talking, not too much showing acts, or jumping around, chasing the Kshatriyas. All that effort is not there. However, Rama has his own way of fighting, but on a higher level. Simple way to understand that it's perfectly in order to follow spiritual instructions, follow rituals, spiritual disciplines, but as you advance and devotion, love of God enters your heart, Rama begins to enter. Parashurama level becomes supplemented by a higher level. And that occurs in a spontaneous way. But this is being brought out in a highly interesting way. What it appears that Lakshmana has caused a lot of agitation in Parashuram. Parashuram, who could not bear even the slightest insult given by Kshatriyas. And here Lakshmana poured down insults in eloquent fashion. And he doesn't know why he is bearing it. So with that introduction, let's follow now. Thar thar kaapahi pur nar nari, chot kumar khot bar bhari. It's highly poetic language. And if you know Hindi, etc., you enjoy. Thar thar kaapahi. All people seeing how Lakshmana, who looks young, tender age, and is a furious Parshuram. Before him, all big Kshatriyas who were showing their muscles, now they are sitting like rabbits. And in that setting, Lakshmana pours down all things coming out of his tongue, so harsh and insulting for Parshuram. It's unimaginable. Seeing this, all people there are thar thar thar. Thar thar means shaking like that. And they all say, this young Lakshmana, Chot Kumar, first the mind goes how beautiful he is, how handsome. Khot barbar. But it's terrible. Let me give you a deeper understanding. Lakshmana's complexion is snowy white. In his heart is Rama. Rama is not snowy white. He is blue, more blackish. So the description is Chot Kumar, it's a beautiful person. Coat. In his heart he has a lot of coat, lot of ugly presence. A satirical description of Sattvapatti. All Sattva, purity, snow. But within that Sattva covering, there is a divine knowledge, Tattva Gyan. I am Brahman. Chot Kumar, Khot Barbari. So how deep can you go? Bhrigupati suni suni nirbhay bani risatan jarai hoi balahani. And as Parshuram goes on hearing these words from Lakshmana, Nirbhay, absolutely fearless. He doesn't give any importance to Parshuram's strength. All the strength of pravritti is little, alpam, the scriptures say. Rama's movement is bhuma, infinite. All the illuminations of the sun put together, little. Sun itself, far beyond all. And Parshuram goes on hearing this. His anger doesn't express now. He has to bear with it. So the whole body burns with anger and bringing about damaging his own strength. This is not a historical matter. To understand the movement towards enlightenment allows Paravairagya movement to shine forth. Your earlier stage of being drawn to the world, that strength diminishes. Bole Rama hi deyi nihora, bachau vichari bandhu laghu tora. And Parshuram, seeing the presence of Rama, turning towards him, he says, your younger brother, I am not attacking him. His body is very handsome, but his mind is very black. Same point as I previously explained. His handsome body is full of sattva. Mind is very black, mind is devoted to God, Neel Gagan. The black is not ordinary, it refers to Krishna, Rama, Shyamal, but it is satirical language. And Parshuram gives the simile, a pot that is golden pot, looks so beautiful, but inside filled with poisonous drink. That's satire. Because his poison is the destroyer of the poison of the world process. Vishaya ras, that's the real poison, neutralized by another poison. Ram ras. Think of Amaras, Ramaras. Suni Lachiman bihase bahuri nayan tare re Ram. And Lakshmana started laughing. But Lord Rama simply turned his gaze towards him. Nayan tarere, little twist your eye and look like that. That subtle point showing a relation between jnana and dhyana. You are meditating. Your meditation has brought out a big fervor of so many things. But jnana movement, suddenly nayan tarere changes your angle. Changing the angle of vision. That's in language. You simply change the angle of your vision. You don't do anything else. Nayan tarere. And the moment Rama did that nayan tarere, Lakshmana sat with his guru, Vishwamitra. And stopped talking. Ati vinita mridushita labani, bole Ram jori jugapani. Now the real confrontation comes. Confrontation with Rama, who broke the bow. Lakshmana was paving the way to that development. Lakshmana gave all that through his words. But Rama is giving now from a little higher angle. It's the same examination is going on. Now Rama, ati beneath, very humble. And his words are sheetal, very komal, gentle. With folded hands, sunahu nath tum sahaj sujana. Oh Lord, listen. You are such a gentle personality. With a spontaneity of giving grace. Such a graceful personality. This Rama's vision does not highlight or does not see agitations. But he is looking at Parshuram's whole intention. His intention is like an examiner. Has Shiva's bow been broken? In reality, or it is a fake movement? And that examination is being presented by this dialogue. सुनहु नाथ तुम सहज सुजाना, बालक बचन करिय नहीं काना. You are so gentle personality. Please do not hold the words of Lakshmana in your ears. Don't accept them. Push them out through the other ear. He's just a child. बर्रे बालकु एक सुभाऊ, इन्हीं न संत विदूष ही काऊ. Wasp and a baby kid, they have the same nature. The wasp comes to lick at your lips. And baby also comes like that. If you are grown up, you are pleased with it. You don't show your anger. So all that Lakshmana did, he did like a wasp or like a baby. कहीं नहीं कछु काज बिगारा अपराधी मैं नाथ तुम्हारा. And the fact is, they have not done any harm. It is I who broke the Shiva's bow. I am the culprit. कृपा कोप बध बंधव स्वा गोसाई मोह पर करिए दास की नाई. Consider me your slave, your servant. And O Swami, O Lord, whatsoever you want to deal with me by your kripa, grace, or by your anger, if you want to cut me down, if you want to just imprison me or put me in bondage, kripa, krodh, badh, bandhan, whatever you want, that's what you surrender to God. Knowing me, that I have surrendered to you, do whatever you wish. So that this fiery anger that is burning you may it cool down. He's more concerned with his problem, Parshurama's problem. कहा मुनि राम जाई रिस कैसे अजहु अनुज तव चितव अनय सैं. O Ram, how can this anger go away? Even now, your younger brother is looking at me with a twisted eye. He's not saying anything, but look at his eyes. यहीं के कंठ कुठार न दीन्हा तो मैं काह कोप करी कीन्हा. And I am unable to cut off his head. What happened to my anger? Lost its vitality. It's burning me down. And doing nothing extraordinary. गर्भस्रवहि अवनिप रवनि सुनि कुठार गति घोर परसुआ छत देखऊं जियत बैरी भूर भूप किशोर. This terrible acts, even the very talk about the acts brings about queens of great kings, they miscarry just because of fear. The idea is Parshurama movement of spiritual strength moving with your effort brings about removal of those negative things that are coming out like babies. See, when their baby state, they cut down just by listening to the force of Parshurama. It's nothing to do with the real description. Because many negative things you can bring about a miscarriage in your subconscious. And I have all that axe in my hand. And this demoniac enemy is right in front of me. And I'm paralyzed. Bahain haath dahairi se chhati, bhakutharu kanthit nirpaghati. My hand does not move. My chhati, your heart is filled with fire. The joyous feeling is ras. Angry feeling is ris. And from the ris has come in English, risk. Risky situation. And my very axe seems to have lost its sharpness. Bhayavu bham vidhi phirevu subhavu, more hridaya kripa kasikavu. Creator has become against me. My very nature has changed. How can I have that type of grace in my heart to let go this Lakshmana who has shown all this arrogance? Ajudaya dukha dusaha sahava, suni saumitri vihasi hirunaya nava. This compassion towards this young man has brought in my heart such intense pain. While he is saying that, Lakshmana laughed. And without permission from anybody. He said, Bau kripa murati anukula, bolata bachana jharata janupula. Because Parshuram talked about grace, that he has been gracious to Lakshmana, in spite of the fact that his heart is burning with anger. And Lakshmana gives him further push. He says, this breeze of your grace is so beautiful. When you speak, as if flowers are coming out of your mouth. जो पह कृपा जरी मुनि गाता, क्रोध भये तनु राख विधाता. During the time when you are showing your grace and your whole body is burning, what will happen if anger begins to show up? You will become just ashes. Parshurama turns to King Janaka and he says, Dekho Janak hati balaku ehu, kinhe chahat jar jamapur gehu. O Janak, look, this dull-wit young man, he wants to go to Yampur, the abode of death. Begi karahu ki na aankh na ota, देखत छोट खोट निप डोठा. Take him out of my sight. This son of a king looks very young, but he is very khota, very crooked. Kha is the expansion. Ta that twists the expansion. Khota. बिहसे लखन कहा मन माही, मुदे आँखि कतहु कहु नाही. Lakshmana this time controlled himself. But he couldn't control his mind. In his mind he said, "Oh sage, close your eyes, and there is nothing here." In the story style, he didn't say it loudly, but saying to himself. But you all hear it. Which in a very humorous way and simple way, all this problem of experiencing the world or attaining enlightenment all depends upon the vrittis of the mind, thought waves of the mind. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So all the trouble, what should you do? Chitta vritti nirodha, close your eyes. Keeping the eyes open means you are allowing the vritti, thought waves to go on flowing. Now withdraw all the thought waves. Nirodha vritti. The entire world process is a cinema show. Show is always through projections. Stop the projection. The projection aspect of the mental movement is called bhava pratyaya, that creates the presence of the world. World begins to exist for you with time, space, causation. And closing the eyes, pratyaya bhav. This pratyaya process completely, the whole projection process moves away. Only screen is there. Screen was all the time there. Pure consciousness was always there. That's absolute reality, absolute truth. Mind created all this illusion. And it is simply described, open the eyes and the whole world is there. Close the eyes, the world gone. And in daily life as well, in a simple way to understand. You face your day with your open eyes. And the night, they all gone with closed eyes. परशुराम तब राम प्रति बोले उर अति क्रोध, शंभु सरासन तोरी सठ करसी हमार प्रबोध. Now, Parshuram turns towards Rama. He comes to realize that Lakshmana is getting all the strength from Rama. A little suspense. परशुराम तब राम प्रति बोले उर अति क्रोध, शंभु सरासन तोरी सठ करसी हमार प्रबोध. with exploding anger in his heart. He said, "O Ram." He didn't say, "Oh Ram," he said, "Oh, shut." Wicked one. Sha is all good, Kalyan. Tha, which dumps all the Kalyan. So anyone who does that is called shut. Another word is used, hot. Ha allows you to expand joyousness. Tha restricts it. Hatha is obstinacy. Someone giving you advice, listen to it, but say, "I'm going to do what I want to do." It's called hatha. And Parashuram says, "You shut," to Rama. "You broke Shiva's bow and you are acting as an ideal wisdom, giving me that example how to be gentle and all that." "बंधु कहाई कटु सम्मत तोरे, तू छल विनय करसि कर जोरे." And it is in harmony with you that your brother says all those bitter words. And you, with a foxy deceit, you show your such humility towards me. "करु परितोष मोर संग्रामा, नाहित छाड़ कहा उबरामा." Now, show me your strength, fight with me. Otherwise, give up your name Ram. Now, this is a practical examination. So far, it was verbal. All of us know Parashuram all the time knows, but he wants to bring to the world the glory of Rama and to bring about an insight into the shift, what is handled by Parashuram and what is handled by Rama, and what's the difference between the two. Because Parashuram and Ram, they are the same avatar in two stages. "छलु तजि करहि समरु शिवद्रोही, बंधु सहित नत मारऊं तोही." Now this still verbal process goes on. "You, enemy of Shiva." Shiva term here relates to God who is sustaining this whole world of Sakamya. If you ask anyone to get out of this world of Sakamya, you are speaking against that God. You are Shivadrohi. Understand, it has nothing to do in an ordinary way. In reality, if you are this type of Shivadrohi, you are really most dear to Shiva. But you have to be qualified for it. You are not qualified. And then you want to go into higher level, then you become real Shivadrohi. Shivadrohi means enemy of Shiva. So, Parshuram challenges Rama, "Fight with me, or I am going to kill you both, you and your brother." Parshuram goes on blabbering with his axe up in his hand. Rama goes on smiling with a very gentle face. Picture that. Gunah lakhan karaham pararoshu katahu sudhayuhu te badadosu टेढ़ जानी सब बंदई काहू वक्र चंद्रमहि ग्रसई न राहू. Rama, mentally he is saying within himself, but all of us are hearing it. It is Lakshmana who gave him all the pain. And he is becoming angry at me. Sometimes being simple and gentle becomes a very defective quality. People who are not so gentle, they are ignored. The masses stage, they don't give any respect. But those who come showing their strength, their muscle, their farsa, their axe, or whatever, everybody says, "Oh, great Maharaj." A gentleman. Look at with the stars. When the moon is full, when the moon is curled up, crooked, Rahu does not dare to cause eclipse in the moon. But when moon becomes full, it becomes a normal, coming to his normal nature. And then he becomes the target of Rahu. Full moon gets eclipsed. All this. I give you another way to understand. The Hindi proverb is, "Tedhi kheer," crooked pudding. Some rich man invited many people in the party. And in that party, there was a man, his friend was completely blind. So he and the blind man both together came. And what they were served was the most delicious kheer, milk pudding. And when the blind man tasted it, he said, "It's so wonderful. Never tasted like that." And he asked his friend, what does it look like? And the friend said, "It's snowy white." What does snowy white looks like? It's like snowy swan. How does swan look like? He put his hand like that. swan like. The man touched his hand. It's very crooked. So the blind man came to the conclusion that pudding is crooked. Humorously, what you are being pointed out, the spiritual movement that puts you in harmony, creates integration in your personality. You look at that movement with a blind vision. You like it, you like satsanga, you like things, but then somehow your mind becomes dull. And ultimately you come to a conclusion that this is a very difficult thing. It's not as beautiful as it tastes. राम कहे रिस तजिए मुनीषा करगु ठारु आगे यह सीसा. Rama said, O sage, give up this anger. You have the axe in your hand. My head is here, not running away. जहीं रिस जाई करिए सोई स्वामी मोहि जानिए आपन अनुगामी. O Lord and Master, do whatever will help you to be relieved of your burning anger. Consider me your das, your very affectionate, tender servant. That again is an illustration of what the higher attitude, if you are becoming a saintly personality and someone demonstrates very ugly and negative, in spite of all that you see, all that you understand internally, like a doctor looks at a patient who is working in a very rough manner, even shouting at the doctor, complaining against him, cursing him. But the more he does, the doctor gets more melted heart. That what did I do? That his mind has gone to that state. He finds the error within him, not within that person. Can you understand that? So therefore, in very advanced stage, there is no room for developing animosity towards anybody. Anyone who is behaving wrongly is sick. Already he is suffering. Why should you go after sending him to hell? Then you will be also going to hell to look after him. To be sure he has gone to hell. Joking. प्रभु ही सेवक ही समरु कस तजहु विप्रवर रोसु वेशु बिलोके कहे सि कछु बालक हूँ नहीं दोषु. How can there be a battle between Swami and servant? O best among Brahmins, give up this anger. Seeing you in this heroic position, Lakshmana is just a child. He uttered those words. There's no fault in him. storyline is going very slow, but with this we conclude at this time. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ramaya Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om.
If anyone has any questions for Swamiji, please raise your hand. Last chance.
Sure, sir.
And we welcome the Sinha family. Nice to have you here. And we welcome Raju back from the wilderness. Tomorrow, Saturday, pranayam at 7 o'clock, and Swamiji joins us for guided meditation at 7:30. Sunday, Swamiji's in his new series on the Bhagavad Gita at 7:30, and we have a vegetarian delicious dinner along with the program. On Tuesday and Wednesday, Swamiji lectures on Yoga Vashishta from 7:30 to about 8:30, both nights. On Thursday, there's a discussion group. Swamiji's not with us, but there's a discussion group. It's currently discussing the art of positive thinking that meets at 6 p.m., and everyone is welcome to join. And on Friday, as you know, we'll continue this delicious study of the Tulsi Ramayana. And just keep reminding you, plan ahead. July 22nd, Sunday at 5 p.m., we'll be celebrating Guru Purnima. And we all know what that means. So let's hope we can all be together and have a joyous celebration of Swamiji's presence.